Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. WWE Crown Jewel, the big WWE Network special coming to you live from Saudi Arabia. Lots of talks about this show. Basically, almost like it's falling apart. The Saudi Arabian government giving Vince McMahon and WWE a huge check in the upwards of $50 million guaranteed to make the trip over to Saudi Arabia to put on a show, just to sort of show the United States the way that the country is changing and progressing and moving forward. A lot of people look at this as some sort of a media hype, but Vince ain't stupid. Vince is going to cash that check, even if it means that they're going to get a little bit of bad publicity for Saudi Arabia not allowing women to make the trip with WWE, not allowing them to be on the show. The women got their own pay-per-view this month. They have WWE Evolution, which is going to be led by Trish Stratus, making her return against Alexa Bliss. We also have Nikki Bella getting a title shot against Ronda Rousey as a big match that's going to be on there. So, they have their own show, which is going to be coming to you from New York. So they're not honestly really missing out, other than the huge paydays that a lot of the guys will be getting if they're handing out bonuses for working this show. The main event is going to be a return to WWE, Brock Lesnar. When it comes to Brock Lesnar, we never really have real news, whether if his return is one-time thing, if it's a 6-month thing, if it's a 1-year thing, if it's a 2-year thing. The Brock Lesnar contract is always sort of a mystery to wrestling fans. We don't really know what's going to be going on. We do know that there are lots of talks about Brock Lesnar returning to UFC, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense for UFC to be bringing Brock Lesnar into the octagon, squaring off with Daniel Cormier to end a UFC pay-per-view, if the plans are for once Brock's UFC suspension for him to actually get in the octagon and have that fight and deliver on fans wanting to see something that they've already sort of got a sample of. Brock is going to be making his return to WWE after breaking up the Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman Hell in the Cell. This basically cost Braun Strowman his Money in the Bank briefcase. It cost the fans having a finish to a real pay-per-view. I know this is one of the pay-per-views where they did a really cool ending for the fans at home and then cut off of television, off of the WWE Network as soon as possible, because once the fans figured out that the pay-per-view was actually over and they were not getting a finish, they really got rowdy. And I think that pay-per-view was in Houston. I think that they felt like they were getting ripped off, and they wanted to see this really big match, and although they did get to see it, they didn't get a finish. They didn't get to see Roman win the title. They didn't get to see Roman keep the title. They didn't get to see Braun win the title, lose the match. We didn't really see anything, honestly. And then the reports started coming out about Roman and Braun just taking a nap in the middle of the ring while the members of the Shield, as well as Ziggler and McIntyre, were fighting on top of the ring. So there was not this continuous action that was just pouring out during this main event. This is going to be fun. I mean, I think that honestly, because of the fact that Brock Lesnar is in this match, you easily could see Brock winning the championship back, sort of restarting his championship reign. We also could see him just be a part of the match to bring some fanfare, and also we did see the finish happen between Roman and Strowman, actually getting a finish to what we thought we were going to see at Hell in the Cell. This is a fun match to think about, because if Brock is going to be back, you got to think that Brock is actually going to be wrestling at Survivor Series. He'll be part of that November spectacular that happens around Thanksgiving. So, is Roman going to pin Strowman somehow getting the finish of this match, and then Brock steps up and wants his one-on-one rematch by, sort of eliminating Strowman. He's not able to complain about losing his Money in the Bank briefcase and not getting a real shot at the championship, or Roman and Strowman just going to team up, take Lesnar out, and then just handle their business from there and figure out what's going down. Strowman sort of has really solidified himself as a heel, while when the first heel turn, in my opinion, took place with him, going against Roman, people thought that they were just trying to side them off, but there's no way in the world the Shield aren't baby faces at this time, and Strowman is hanging out with McIntyre and Ziggler, and basically getting any kind of advantage they can. That seems like a heel way for me to look at this. So, at the Crown Jewel, this definitely is going to be the main event. I think that this should be really fun. My opinion at this time is that I'm picking Roman Reigns to get the win here. I think that he's going to be keeping the championship, and where they go from here, we'll have to figure out during the show. But this one comes up November 2nd, so we still have a little bit of time, almost a month, probably about 3 weeks until this one pays off.